Hi, my name is Christine Ichim. I'm the CEO of Florica Therapeutics. Welcome to our laboratory. We at Florica Therapeutics have launched upon a humanitarian effort to create the tools necessary to cure infertility. We are able to build here in the laboratory the cells in the brain that control fertility for men, for women, for human beings. We are able to grow these cells. These cells are impossible to get in mice. They are impossible to get in humans. We are able to grow them from stem cells here in the laboratory. Our work is going to change fertility research because for the first time, we can create human hypothalamus cells right here in the laboratory. Our goal is to turn these cells into cell lines and to make them publicly available to academic institutions to conduct R&D, research and development on this very important part of the brain.
We're changing the way infertility is going to be treated. Right now, it's a long, time-consuming, and incredibly expensive process that's pretty much not available to most people and not successful to most of the people who pursue it. We're going to change that. We're going to come at it from a completely different direction. Instead of trying to treat fertility in the reproductive organs, we're going to treat it in the brain. We feel a personal motivation to improve treatments and outcomes for women who are struggling with fertility issues. In vitro fertilization is a very complex and very invasive process. You get weeks and weeks of injections followed by a really invasive procedure to retrieve the eggs, followed by maybe it works, maybe it doesn't.
How devastating is it when it doesn't work?
Very. You go through all that time, you go through all that effort. The woman experiences all these ill effects from all the medications that she's being injected with. And in the end, most of the time, it fails. We're going to change that. We're going to take weeks and weeks of injections and we're going to replace it with a pill.
I've been through 7 cycles of IVF and 2 cycles of IUI. To those who are not familiar with this means 280 injections of hormones over the past 2 years, 50 blood draws, and 7 invasive operations, weeks of being bloated and hormonal and tired. I've also had a miscarriage, which was pretty horrible, and we don't need to talk about that. This cost us tens of thousands of dollars. It is my hope that no other woman would have to go through this. But we've applied for funding for this project at the National Institutes of Health. It was so awesome in a very disturbing kind of way. The deadline was coming up, and after my IVF procedure, right after surgery, the next day I had to get on it and write this grant and do the objectives and come up with this experimental design. But we had the deadline coming up, so it had to be done. And so, between drinking ginger tea for the nausea and caffeine, coffee for the fatigue, we sent it out because I might be doing IVF, but I'm still a scientist and I meet my deadlines. What is the significance of this day?
Well, there's a few things about this day that make it noteworthy. First off, it's the birthday of our founder, Christine Ichim, our CEO. But even more than that, it's an anniversary. On this date in 1996, Christine completed a heroic rollerblade journey across the the entire length of Canada, and she did in honor of her mother, who was fighting an incredible battle against leukemia.
So on October 15, 1996, I completed rollerblading across Canada. Now, when I left, my mother said to me, "If you make it, I'll make it." And that struck with me when everything became difficult, when it seemed impossible. And so I had to keep going. No matter how difficult it was, I had to finish. And so when I reached St. John's, when I saw those lights, I knew that anything is possible. This is the day when we beat death. This is the day when we show that the human spirit can overcome the most impossible odds. And this is what our company is about, overcoming these odds. To women who've struggled with infertility, they know how difficult it is going to appointment after appointment, being told that you have a 1% chance, and persevering, keeping the hope alive. And so this day is about hope. This day is about believing that anything is possible and doing the research so that other women do not have to go and struggle through the struggles I had to go through.